All right. I kind of want to make like these series of what's it called, of video, for picking apart fights, and it should only be contained in my channel. Um, Hopefully it stays in my channel only. I'm not gonna post it any in the forum or anything like that. So this is a series only for my subscribers. So basically, sometimes when I'll see fights or someone will send me a link of a fight or something like that, I will pick it apart and explain them what's going on throughout here and how impressive it was. So the reason I'm starting this is because there's a lot of them being coming down to my Discord, and I have to pick up their fights. For example, a while back there was a video where players went a bit crazy with the Lupak fighting a 2v1 with a greater nature. And through that, a lot of players were impressed. Lupak basically went a little bit cheerful with his winnings and stuff like that. So basically, this is a video. It was Ayamase and someone named 1LN, and they were fighting each other. Through that, he thought that he was gonna die and stuff like that, and they were fighting. Pretty much they were just fighting each other and so on. But then out of nowhere, as this guy did Revit, Lupak killed L1 and then kills Ayamakaze, and start gloating at this, saying that, hey guys, I'm about to be a little bit late, guys. I just had to killed a 2v1 with a greater nature, and stand up and started humping the chair because he was very excited for what just happened. In that case, I actually made a threat because of that. Because the answer, somebody told me that the nature sucked, and actually, since that player's already revealed himself, I can go ahead and call out the name. I'm not going to call out the name in Discord, but basically Pasta was the one that I was teaching, and during that time he say, bro, thank you for the nature, but as you see, nature actually sucked. And I say, dude, there's nothing to celebrate in this video. Let me pick it down for you so you understand, but let me go in the forum first and find out some high IQ players that can pick this fight down. We had two players who definitely were able to. A legendary player, which I knew I heard that name before. It was actually back in Vendetta, way back in 2017, where the player was a legendary. And then somebody else named Meccano, and I made a prize for them, 1.5 mil for the first place, 1 mil for the second place. So here how I picked up the fight. Basically, confirmation through Rosalia. That was a 400 spec on Lupak's part. The Vintum that died during that time at 5/19/2017, when I look at the score, he had about 400, if you look at here, had about 436,550 PK fame during 5/19/2019. If I click it again on the link, it's obviously going to get more, 1.8 mil. So this is the reason why I put the date of when I looked at it. By the time he probably fought Lupak, he probably was way below that, or maybe zero. The other victim, who for some reason has, I don't know what's going on here. There's no current information, no guild or anything like that. I thought he thought was in guild. Maybe he quit. I'm not sure. But 1ILN was killed by Lupak, and basically he has zero fame and still has, for some reason, zero PvP fame. The death of these two players were, as you see, the gear is different. Lupak is at 400 with the weapon. I'm not sure with all gears, but if it is with all the gear, that's to give it a huge advantage. 1LN was using this setup, and Amakase were using this setup. In the whole thread, I gave my example what's going on compared to Lupak. It's tier 7, 6.1, tier 5, 4.1, Morgana clock, and all of pretty much the stuff that he had. 400 specking, bring him up to maybe tier 8 or 8.1 versus tier 4 with hardly any spec in it. As you saw their PvP fame, they probably don't even have anything on them. Since they fought in the red zone, they had slow cluster reduction, so it was pretty much a adult smacking two babies or two toddlers during that time. I also did pick up the fight, and during this time, right, I'm actually gonna put the link below for the thread. During this time, I picked up the whole 3 fight, and it wasn't impressive. In fact, I was actually disappointed that Lupak was actually gloating during this time, because the fight was actually not impressive. In fact, if you look very closely, that would have been a shame if he would have lost to that, because he was already too high spec versus two newbies in the video. Now, when you actually go back and let me just play it one more time. Let's see how, if you can catch some of the mistakes. And as I'm saying it, maybe you might notice. Lupak pop his obsessive burst. Keep an eye on his magic resist that he might popped up. Again, he's stacking it and fighting. He thought he was losing the battle. During this time, look what happened to Ayamakaze. If you look very closely right here, as he points back and hits Ayamakaze, Ayamakaze has a debuff. That's 24% less healing now that is being done on Ayamakaze. So now everything he heals, even his mercenary jacket or the heals from the druid, is 24%. Keep an eye on that debuff as it lasts for the whole entire video. During this time, again, you see it back what Lupak is doing. You see that he's at stack 8. That's 50%, 56% more damage. Ayamakaze popped his greater nature, and because it has because he's a newbie, the player doesn't have protect nature, which increases the heal by 50% and the resistance by maybe close to from 65 to 70%. 65 to 70 resistance. And during this time, the player has nothing to defend himself if something happened, unless, of course, his ambush is up. Which, looking back at the video, let's check it out. You have to look very closely to that if he actually uses it. Again, he's fighting. He's gonna focus on him. Still focusing on him. He walks away. There is no ambush being used. Alright, so the player gives him the shield, but it doesn't matter. Now the shield may give him resistance, but the heal from the shield is now reduced by 24%. The heal that is 2 stacked, that probably you might get a third stack in a second, is reduced by 24%, and he already used the mercenary jacket to try to heal himself, which activated that ability. So Lupak obviously turned away and start focusing on 1L because he's actually using Revit on Ayamakaze. Ayamakaze now, again, the Revit is 24% less healing. As he hits 1L1, he doesn't stand a chance. He doesn't have the greater nature, and for some reason he's not popping his ambush on his assassin jacket. That ended up him dying on this pretty much duel, or should I say failed gank. Now, obviously, I'm not 100% sure what this is. This might be the magic resist that he needed. If it is the magic resistance, what happens during this time is that his actually it's a stone skin. Okay, using the stone skin. So he actually, I think, he's either getting some defenses and crowd control. I should actually check that myself. But again, the player over here, as he's trying so much, he still had that 24% reduced healing. There is no way that he's going to be able to heal himself up greatly, even if he has the mercenary jacket up. So during that time, he dies. The players get Lupak gets to gloat. Now again, this is a close to equivalent to 8 or 8.1 around there tier player. I think it's a little bit higher since he's actually using a T7. If I said on the weapon, let's actually look over here really quickly. That's a tier 7 equivalent, and that's a 400 out of 400. Yeah, it's way up there. It's beyond T8 and T9. Probably close to T10 since it's 400 out of 400. So during this time, let's break it down a little bit more. The player who's using the armor, he has a 25 healing cast versus if he were to use a cloth, he would have between 48% to 58% healing cast. But now he's actually nerfed himself because he's actually using a 2017 build. This build was the one that hit everybody for 1 versus 3 and able to solo them. Guess what? Living armor has been nerfed, the heal has been nerfed, and the assassin jacket, because of greater nature, has been nerfed. Instead of 40 seconds, it was increased to 60 seconds. You can thank the nature for that. Now, he's actually already at a disadvantage, probably has no spec. Again, a greater nature for this would Revit. If you have protective nature, that would have been better. He didn't prop ambush. And if I actually go ahead and look at the other guy, as you see, he has the mercenary jacket and can't heal high because he now have 20% reduced healing. The best thing that could have happened is that the healer could have just stopped healing him just for a couple seconds to get that to wear off and maybe start healing again. If you use a healing and a healing dot, every time you use a healing while you have a debuff, that debuff refreshes every time, so it won't leave so long as you keep healing. So the best thing he could have done is stop healing. Again, he doesn't have a cloak. If he was gonna fight in there, I guess he was doing a Hellgate, hoping that, or a ganking. I don't know, man. I mean, when you see a cloak like this, you just know it screams newbie all over the places. And same thing with the other healer, it just screams newbie all over the place. So basically, during this fight, it was literally a baby versus two toddlers. Sorry, I don't mean to offend you, but it was two toddlers versus an adult. There's nothing impressive about that. You shouldn't have been losing to this type of players in the first place. So that is the dissection of this specific fight in here. And if I looked at it again, just a little quick, just to see everything, because he definitely had his during this he has his cloak already proc. Anti poisons. There is no chance. We already looked at this, but there was no chance that they could have won, unless, of course, they would have backed up and get that reduced healing off your back. So now we have a new fight that it was sent to me on Discord, and I love this one. This one is actually a little more interesting because the players, I feel like were a little bit newbie, not the vastly superior. They're vastly superior for a reason. But the Hades Maron clan, they were a bit noobish on what they were doing. So if we actually look into the video, all right. So this one is the one that I want to see. I like this one better. So during this time, they were actually doing the the random dungeons, and they were very close to the shaman boss. Here we have for Fortis Adamas, and for some reason, he's not being down. Yes, he does have tier 8. He has Guardian chest. He does have the Soldier Helm that he can proc, which is, there it is, he procced it. He procced the block, so he can take 0 damage. And during this time, he was very low, but he got into their territory. Getting in close like that to their space, that should have been like all of them rushing in, stunning him, killing him first, and moving forward with everybody else. They do seem to have 2 tanks during this time. Again, they're trying to finish the mob so they can have a fair fight, as fair as it could be. So again, look, 2 tanks in here. So he rushes in, he misses his snare. That's fine. He could have just walked up and used the air compressor if he had it. Of course, he has an incubate maze, but it feels like if these 2 players did had air compressor, they should have used it at that point of time. Okay, so again, during this time, one of the curse staff is using one of their E abilities, which when they have a hot, it takes their hots away and it does 0 damage. So if you have 3 hots on you, it'll go down 1. If you get hit again, you'll go down to 3, 2, and then 1, and then 0, obviously. So during this time, he silenced, beautiful silence, by the way. So they activate immunity. It seems like Crackle Troll. That way there can't be CC or anything like that, but they haven't been CC in the first place, so I don't see any problem with that. Again, they're rushing in. They rush all the way to the faces and yet no air compressor, so I'm going to go with a limp that they don't have air compressor. So again, they're fighting a long-range battle. Like, there's nobody here. I see no AoE. And to my surprise, there's a reason why. Again, he actually successfully got the snare. There is no silence, so they don't have Hellion Helm, which that's something they should have probably had during this battle, but again, no matter. Now, if you look at the fight, by the way, which let me put it here, it's 1 minute and 2 seconds. If you look at the fight, you're going to notice something in here on Sir Duff. So the curse staff starts clicking on Sir Darth at one point, and you'll notice something that is incredible in here. Armor piercing. Let's see how far this actually goes. Maybe I had it on the right minute, to be honest with you. There it is. There is a 24% healing reduction on one of the tanks. So I have no idea what could this actually like be. It could be either that both healers are trying to heal each other. They have a wild staff and a holy heal. And if this is so, then already there is a 20% healing reduction, which obviously the other team should take very good advantage of this since they're not going in. They should have died by just walking in like that. They should have walked in. Everyone should have went in straight in and killed all 5 of them, but they did not. For some reason, it seems that the only type of players that would do this are the players who are type like kind of noobish. So again, boom, air compressor. That has to be air compressor by this the side of the vastly superior. During that time, they were done. They got AoE down all the way to the point that there's no return for them. Look at that. They're being picked apart now. There's nothing they can do. It's mostly like you lost your 2 leaders or a couple of players and stuff like that, and out of nowhere you're like, we can't beat these guys. Run, run. There's no way to fight them. You keep going forward. Scorpion actually dies around here. Isn't that right, Mr. Scorpion? Yep, he dies. He's the healer. He has a wild staff. He dies and the game is over. Now, here's the thing that I love watching. The first thing is we have to see these players. We have to see the allies. I'm gonna call the allies, and we'll call the other one the hordes. So for this Fortis Sadamas, he had about 5 during this time of the video at 6/2/2019. He has about 5 mil PvP fame. Vastly Superiors has 1.8 mil. Cloud GT has 8 mil. Big Al at 18 mil, and Jig Dog at 21 mil. We need to check out the other people who were here, and now we see we have a 79k PvP fame, and this is today because this is where I heard the fight. We got this guy at 202,000, 952,000, 1.5 mil, which come close to one of the guys up here at 1.8, 850 PvP fame. 64,000, 1 mil, 534,000, and 48,000. When I see PvP fame like this, I say that basically they were not the real gankers. The real ganker goes in and just finish you off. And in fact, I will show you what happened to my team on one of the videos. So actually, let me scratch this all the way out. We can see already how the PvP fame was for this side. So let's take this all out, and now let's look at the battle. We have Holy Healer with Fiend Cow, which I think this is the one that Purge. So that was interesting. Definitely not a PvE farming build. But definitely, I mean, it would have been Graveguard, I think. But I guess they were expecting, obviously, dived in, so a good thing that they had it. Obviously, Cleric Rogue, greater Holy Staff, which allowed them to do Explosion and push everybody off. However, only the melee in there was actually the tanks, and everybody else, keep an eye on this, everybody else is, we have a bow. So we have a flat bow, no cloak. We have another, we have a wild staff with ambush again, or the assassin jacket. Listen, get that shit out of that. There was actually 2017. The meme is gone. The 1v3 staff holy thing, I mean, greater nature thing, all that stuff with the assassin jacket, that's gone. Throw that out of the window. Again, no cloak. We have the curse staff that obviously has armor piercing, vile curse, and basically the other one, I don't forget the ability name, but basically takes away overtime heals if you hit the damage your enemy, and it's in AoE. Again, these players do have cloak, fashion cloaks. Again, this one finally we have Rodrago. He has life touch. He has orb, and basically 4 sterling cloak. So this is probably the only guy come close to having a good cloak in this game. We have the guy having one-hander on the crossbow. Again, this is actually the cultists. I forgot what the cultists did. I don't know why am I taking these out. I should keep it. And this one was a druid with Morgana helm, I guess. The stalker on helm, which I think this is the one that when you can deal 20% more damage for 4 seconds, and if your opponent is about halfway low, if you're close to him, basically you'll do a 143 resistance, negative resistance. Okay, that's the fire staff. We have here again. I don't know why I'm taking this off. Here we have someone with a flail. We'll go like literally use an incubate mace or something better, like something that groups your player up. Calamam mace. Again, this is Guardian chest for the enfeeble. I'm pretty sure. Giant boots and either stone skin or block. So this is the first tank that they had. This one is again another bow user. There's no longbow user. Like, go in there with 3 longbow. Go in there with the 2 tank goes in. Air compressor. AoE down with 3 longbows, and this would have been GG. But you can see that there definitely was newbie players, and obviously instead of chance. I know these guys had to be feeling really good about now, because getting dive and defending that dive even with massive player, you just gotta really feel good about that. So again, during this time, you can actually see, let me see, is it Cloud? No, Tali? Tali was actually using the halberd. Awesome. And I think it was actually there, Fordas. He was actually in tier 8, and he had the mace, so obviously he had compressor. But the thing that scared me the shit is actually his sandals. He had a druid sandal. And let me tell you something, if he went in, air compressor, and druid sandal, frost walk, that would have slowed everybody. Like, it'll look like a permanent slow, the way he just run all inside that area. Like, seriously, you'll get your ass kicked. He'll go in, snare, compress, maybe snare? Well, actually, it could be snare and compress. And then after that, he does the druid sandal, which basically what happens is he slows everybody in there, and that could have been another win in there they could have done. The opponent has one of the royal helmet, good money for the other side. This basically throws the barrels and does a stun for a couple seconds, and then he has bolt casters. So I guess he was trying to. He's with the player who just, wow, really? You had a Badan and you didn't use it? When you see that, and at the end he had another bow. I need to see more videos like this. They are delicious, and the reason they are delicious is because new players, I guess maybe they starting. I mean, if they were going to start, I would start somewhere maybe like around Hellgate, Arena. At the beginning, I would start in Arena, a 5v5. Get good at using your skills and stuff like that. Then I will use Hellgate. Then I will go dungeon diving massively with a player once I feel very confident on my skill. But it seems that the other team were not confident at all. They felt threatened during all that time. Even when they were at low health, like look at Remittance and look at Cloud GT all the way in the back. They were at low health. Look at all that. Look at all that. Italy was low. Yet none of them called it out saying, hey guys, let's just jump in, and Leroy Jenkins didn't mean shit out of them. Like, the bows could have just used armor piercing a bit and then just focus all at one player. If you have 14 players focusing on one player, that player is gonna die, you know? But again, they were not confident and they got their ass kicked. So that's actually going to be the end of this video. Maybe next time that I start doing video, I'll do some more research on all their gears and going inside the game, because I'm not in the game. As you probably can see, I'm not in the game. So I can probably go into the game and look at everything that was being played. If you guys always want to know how a fight has went, you can always go to the website and just click their name right here and see. For example, let's say this guy got his butt kicked by Cloud. You'll see it up here. You can click, go down. Where is it? Where is it? Oh god, how long was that he kicked his butt? Cloud GT. So Cloud GT killed Becto. Oh no, it's over there, right? No, actually it isn't. So this is probably a bad sample because Becto could be all the way down here somewhere. So actually, let me look for another. Somebody else is much easier. Newbie died by Big Al. Big Al killed Newbie this week. Yes. Out. So this was posted way back. There it is. Details. Scroll down the details, and then you can see the fight right here. Kill feud. So you can see all the players that fought and this side and this side, except these two players I did not see. I did not see Abigail and Rodrigo, so I keep that out, but I can see these fight together. But obviously, as you see from far away, the assailant were just, no offense to you guys, you were just a bunch of newbies. Sorry, but that's what it was. You guys were experienced enough. Go back, practice again, try ganking outside red zone and stuff like that individually, and then go back to diving once you have grown, your confidence has grown a little bit more. Congratulations to Cloud KR on defeating that, and I hope my subscribers enjoy this. This was hilarious fight. I actually enjoyed it. I definitely did enjoy it. Alright, that's it. This should be only for my subscribers. I'm not going to post this on the forum. I'm not going to post this on Discord. So those who see this, have fun with it. Pretty much, I guess you can call it die set, but I actually want to call it breakdown. Take care.